This is the sound of a nation that still believes in faith, in family, in freedom. This is for the ones who punch the clock, pay their taxes, and still believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Living the American dream.
Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
This is Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter on AM560 The Answer.
Happy birthday, America. It's our 250th year of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and even in Illinois. You're listening to Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter and my co-host in studio, Gretchen Fritz. Hi, Gretchen.
Hi. We have another great show planned for you tonight and a lot of great ones coming up, so be sure to tune in every Saturday at 7 p.m. here on AM560 or hear our podcast on demand at 560theanswer.com.
Well, I'm Jim Marter. I'm the Republican nominee for U.S. Congress in Illinois' 14th District, and I want to go to Washington to make sure your faith, your family, and your freedom are protected, along with the American dream for future generations.
We got a lot of great feedback, Jim, on the guests that we've been having, but also your updates about what it's really like to run for Congress and peeling back the curtain on that whole thing, and also just the fact that you are actually doing it. You're out there hitting the pavement, shaking the hands, kissing the babies, and you know we can't necessarily say the same for your opponent.
That's right. Well, I did run into her at the Yorkville 4th of July parade, so and that was somewhat by accident. So. We were having some technical difficulties, let's say, with the vehicle in the first parade. We got them fixed and made the second two parades with the vehicle, but I walked the first parade. Sure. And at the end of the parade, I ran into her. She made a beeline for me and gave me an America 250 pin. It's actually quite a nice pin.
That's surprising. Okay.
Yes, so I proudly wore it in the next parade. So
but she knew who you were?
Oh, yeah. Trust me, she knows who I am.
She knows.
We know each other
by now.
Yes,
she should by now.
We do. But anyway, I've met some amazing people. Like Chloe Cole, who is her story is going from being transitioned kind of forcibly through the medical establishment, lying to her and her parents. And now she's back better than ever, and she's speaking out. I mean, God bless her for what she's doing in her journey through that. We had, I've got to see Riley Gaines multiple times, actually, even this year multiple times. Erica Kirk for the first time in person, got to see her, and Congresswoman Mary Miller, who I've seen frequently, and I just enjoy watching what she's doing in Washington. We need more like her in Washington, and I would love to get there to help her, help you, help us take back our country. We're going to have other things going on throughout the district in the weeks ahead. Lots of parades, lots of festivals. We had a great fundraiser with Christian Maxwell this week. She's awesome. Illinois' first congressional district, which we share a pretty long border because of the crazy maps. It runs, the border we share goes from Lockport around Joliet, Elwood, all the way up to Shannon, and touches even the tip of Kendall County where I live.
Wow. So
that's how crazy those maps are. It's just, that's the kind of the good part about it, getting out there and meeting folks. Was out in Ottawa last night at Buffalo Rock State Park. This is a state park that I had some history with the Scouts and merit badge cycle constantly, a 50-mile ride, and some issues on that and some fun on that. So some really good stuff out there. And then there's the other side of it, which is really the business side of it. And if you're a candidate for Congress, you're filed with the Federal Elections Commission. You have a lot of legal responsibility. You have a lot of, let's say, liability if you don't do things like reporting accurately and correctly, not violating campaign finance laws, understanding all that stuff. But those are the things that it makes it tough. Fundraising, the limits that they put on the First Amendment, all that kind of stuff is things that most people wouldn't think about. Oh well, what really is involved in that? You
Sure.
You have accountants, you have reporting, you have tracking, you have stuff like that, and it's just a bunch of things going on the side. But at any rate, we'll take a look what's been going on, unburdened by what has been.
And imagine what can be, and be unburdened by what has been.
I'm not sure I do know Kamala.
So those are those. I mean, what do you do with that one?
Just laugh. So you can't do anything but laugh and shake your head.
Right. So my opponent, Miss Underwood, and I also refer to as misinformation because there's a lot of that coming out of her camp. She takes a lot of money. I was looking at her FEC reports recently because I was looking to see if she had given back any of the money she took from some really interesting characters here that we're going to cover. Left-wing extremist. She runs from New York City to San Francisco. How do I know that? Because we see the expenses in her financial reports on the FEC.
You can learn a lot by looking at financial reports.
Exactly. So I don't think we want our representative, and that would be yours and mine in the 14th District, and all of you who live in Illinois' 14th District, to be coming from those places. So fun or maybe not so fun fact, San Francisco actually had what became known as I don't know if I can say this on air,
you can say it.
a poop map app. It plotted what the developer called the human wasteland San Francisco became under one-party Democrat rule. So This is where we're heading, right? If we don't stop this.
100%.
It marked out where human waste complaints were submitted through San Francisco's 311 reporting system. Don't think it can happen here. Well, Democrat state reps and state Senate candidates who think it's a good idea to turn our beautiful parks into squatter camps, right? And we've seen that already here in Illinois, and they don't care about that.
Yes.
Miss Underwood's silent on that. We try to expose her silence on that. She doesn't want to call out her own party here. So when you elect people like San Francisco's Pelosi or New York City's, Mondani, this is what you get. And when you have someone who idolizes these types, like my opponent, left of the squad, Lauren Underwood, and I think we've explained that before, but left of the squad means her votes in Congress.
Right.
You've got AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Cori Bush, and others who will regularly vote 15, 20% more conservatively than Miss Underwood. So get your head wrapped around that.
Yeah, they won't let her into the squad because she's too liberal.
Right, exactly. So these are the problems and the ideas we're dealing with. This is who she takes money from. These are the kind of things that we have to say in the 14th District. Is this what you want out of your representative from Washington?
Who specifically has she taken money from?
So here's one. Robert Soros. Does that name sound familiar?
Soros?
George Soros family out of New York. Their big projects were defunding the police, open borders, releasing dangerous criminals. This is documented, yet she keeps the money from them, right? It's more important to her than us in the 14th District, the American people, and the working families who are paying those taxes.
Well, it is, because she needs money to get reelected, and that's the most important thing.
Right. Here's another, James Simas, a good one, another New York City dweller who owed $670 million in back taxes. I guess that's the 1% that she's not for, but she takes money from. Wow. Yet she still found money to donate to Illinois' Congresswoman Lauren Underwood. Here's my favorite, Reid Hoffman. Listen to this guy's resume for Underwood donors. We called her out on a press release to return this, by the way. She hasn't, because that's why I was looking at her reports. Worked with Jeffrey Epstein, and after the Epstein was arrested for soliciting a minor, then he still went to Epstein Island. And then, tell me if this sounds familiar, he supplied money to an organization that was connected to deceptive social media operations that used tactics that looked like a Russian election interference, but wasn't. Sound like a Russia collusion hoax.
Right.
I don't know. He also funded the legal expense of E. Jean Carroll's civil case against President Trump.
Okay. Now the strands are beginning to tie together.
And then he even went on to say he wished President Trump would become an actual martyr, commenting on the assassination attempt.
Wow.
I mean, this is crazy as you get.
Right.
These are the people that are funding my opponent, Lauren Underwood. Like I said, we called her out. You should give this back. Maybe she didn't know, right? She didn't know all these things, but she just saw the.
Well, and when you accept money, like, it's not really you; it's someone from your campaign is accepting the money. So then, when the candidate themselves finds out about it, that's when the money should be given back.
Right. I mean, this is it. Lauren Underwood's an entrenched radical leftist agendas. It's socialism, which really in its implementation or practical form is just The same thing you saw, communism, the Chinese Communist Party, the Soviet Union, Venezuela, all these other countries. This is what they are going for. This is what my opponent is. So we have some upcoming opportunities here. Let's and I'm going to try to debate her, but I will see if she comes out. Right? Didn't last time, so we'll we'll see where we go. Stay tuned for more about that.
Right. Well, that is going to dovetail nicely into our next two segments, where we're going to have two very special guests we're honored to have on the show. You're going to want to stay tuned as we get a sneak peek at a nonpartisan plan to save Social Security, reduce the national debt, and much more. They will share their plan at the upcoming Save America rallies coming to Illinois. Jim will be speaking there, and so will our next guest. We'll talk to the former Comptroller General of the United States and Joe from Texas when we come back. Stay right here on AM560, The Answer.
Back to the show about faith, family, and freedom. You're listening to Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter on AM560 The Answer.
We are back. This is Jim Marter and Gretchen Fritz on Saving the American Dream. We're going to talk exactly about that right now, and right now with our two very special guests.
With us now are the former Comptroller General of the United States, David M. Walker, and with him is businessman and author Joe Penland Sr., who is widely known as Joe from Texas, and we'll find out about that. Thank you for coming on with us.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Joe, welcome to the show. Let's start with you. You're Joe, but you're not an average Joe. You're a very successful businessman, as I understand. Tell us about your business journey that led you here with this mission. Give us a little bit of your background.
Okay, but I still consider myself average. Okay, let's just stay with that. But just working construction early when I was getting out of high school and seeing a need for a product that I was fortunate enough to get in build in my mother's backyard to start it out, and I've been doing the same thing for 52 years, building heavy equipment mats, and we ship them all over the world under heavy equipment, anywhere there's soft ground.
Nice.
Well, and that's amazing, and I want to jump to our second guest also for an introduction, who is partnering with Joe on a mission near and dear to my heart. Welcome, David Walker. First, tell us about your background, about your work as Comptroller General of the United States, the nation's top auditor.
Sure, happy to be with you. I've got over 40 years of private sector, public sector, not-for-profit sector, and academia leadership experience. I've run 3 federal agencies, 2 in the executive branch, 1 in the legislative branch, ran the Government Accountability Office as Comptroller General of the United States for 10 years, which is in the legislative branch. Been a trustee of Social Security and Medicare, and also a professor at the Naval Academy, among many things. So Joe and I are partnering up to help save Social Security and save America's future, because we're mortgaging it right now with disastrous consequences if we don't defuse this debt bomb.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I mean, I felt the weight of that, just as again, an average Jim out here working the last 40 years in the manufacturing sector. And I'm a longtime advocate of cutting government waste, fraud, and abuse. I love the idea of DOGE, right? Trump's Department of Government Efficiency.
Love it.
And working to get to Congress where I can help and do that. So tell us about your plans, proposal, and in particular, what can and should Congress be doing to bring about real solutions to serious problems like Social Security and reducing our debt?
Well, what people need to understand is that if we do nothing, Social Security benefits will be cut 22 to 28% across the board in late 2032. That's obviously unacceptable from an equity, economic, and other perspectives. We must not let that happen. And so Joe and I are going on the road to help speak the truth and show the way forward as to how you can reform that program and exceed the expectation of every generation of Americans. I won't get into the details now, but the second thing that we need to do is that we need to be able to reduce, and yes, I said reduce, debt as a percentage of the economy, because it's already too high. It's projected to go up another from about 100% of GDP to 175 in the next 30 years. That's third world nation status. We cannot allow that to happen. So we're focusing on both of those things, leading with Social Security, but also talking about all the other things that need to be addressed.
Wow, that's serious. That's profound. So I have a question for either of you. Younger people don't really worry about the national debt. They think that because they didn't put something on their credit card, quote unquote credit card, they're not responsible or they're not going to be impacted by it. Can you explain in simple to understand terms who something like the national debt will impact? Is it individuals my age, and help us understand the danger?
Well, let me mention something briefly, and then Joe should come in. The only thing that is guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States is the debt. So it's everybody's problem, everybody's responsibility, and particularly young people, because they didn't cause the problem, but they're going to bear the burden. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, and your debt is making the inflation in this country spiral out of control also. So everybody suffers when you have too much debt. There's no two ways about this. You can't say that we're letting somebody out of this debt problem. If you're in America, you're one of the 340 million people, this debt is going to impact your life. Whether you have a lot of money, don't have a lot of money, just starting out, it's not going to make any difference if it's male, female, black or white. It's going to catch us all. The debt is going to overcome this economy, and when it does, everybody will suffer.
Sure.
Hey, Joe, I saw that in the last election cycle, you had worked with David on something called the Contract from the American People. How has that evolved into the 2026 midterms, and is that part of the mission? And to be honest, it kind of looks like my platform, what I've been running on to bring to the people of Illinois' 14th district. Can you walk us through some of that and let our audience know? And I'll list them here. Rein in spending, control the debt, save Social Security, control inflation, secure the border, enforce the law, economics based on energy policies, and that's not the Green News scam energy policies, school choice, fighting corruption, and term limits.
Well, yeah, and let's just start at the end of that, term limits. And Jim, I wish you a lot of luck in your endeavor that you're pursuing now. But we have to have checks and balances when people put their hand on the Bible and swear to do what they're going to do to help this country. And I think when somebody can stay there 20, 24 years, 30 years, 36 years, I don't think that's a good thing. I think term limits would give Congress the cover they need to vote what's right at the right time and not be persuaded or have too much influence from the party. If you know it's right for America, just go ahead and vote that. Now, that's not going to be popular in the Democrat Party or the Republican Party, but it's okay if you do that when you're getting out. And you see there's several senators and congressmen now have all of a sudden jumped on the Save Social Security bandwagon, and a few months ago they wouldn't even have talked about it. It's because they're not going to run again, whether they're not running or the primary has got them or whatever. So it shows you it's a clear picture for America that if we had term limits, I think things would not be near as bad as they are today. And I'll just end with that one.
Yeah, and I've actually always been for term limits. I have a nearly 40-plus year career in the private sector. I don't need 40-plus years in Congress, and neither does anyone else, right? So we're gonna we still got a little bit of time in this segment. So any of the other points you want to jump in on?
Well, the border had to be.
I think what people need to I think what people need to understand is that we can reform Social Security and exceed the expectations of every generation of Americans, because young people don't think they're going to get it. They're wrong. They are. Maybe they're different age and will do a different amount. Seniors think they're going to get taken advantage of. They're not. And therefore, if we can make the reforms, phase them in over time, everybody gets more than they think they're going to get, which, quite frankly, is a win. The problem is Congress is a lag indicator. We have too many laggards and not enough leaders.
Oh, amen to that. So two of these are secure the border and enforce the law, and those are two sides of the same coin, right?
It is, but we had to get a handle on the border. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're spending billions of dollars down there and not saying anything about the human impact that was. People coming across the border that were born on one side of the Rio Grande, we're born on this side. I don't think God intended it to be that they're going to be punished and be down there. If we can bring people up here, let them work in this country. We brought people up here through Ellis Island at the turn of the century. 20 million people came here and stayed and did it the right way. Legal immigration is a good thing. If you look at our decline in birth rate that we have right now, if we're going to continue to be a prosperous country, we're going to have people to work. And right now, we don't have enough women having children, and it's their decision. But we don't have enough people doing that today to sustain a workforce that will keep this country moving. So we're going to have to get a handle on that. First thing we had to do was close the flow coming in, and we've done that. I think the president's done a good job.
We'll keep you on to the next segment. We'll pick up where we left off. I want to give you a plug. So you both are going to be in Illinois at the Save America rallies, sponsored by Illinois Family Action. The first one I'll be speaking at, along with Darren Bailey and Don Tracy as some additional candidate speakers. But Joe from Texas and David M. Walker will be the keynotes at that event. The first one's Bolingbrook Golf Club right here in my district.
If you love life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you're in the right place. More of Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter on AM560 The Answer.
We're back here on Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter and Gretchen Fritz. We're visiting with Joe from Texas and the former Comptroller General of the United States, David Walker. Welcome back, gentlemen. So, David, you and Joe wanted to talk more about Social Security in this segment.
We do, but and Joe has a real personal situation where he can talk about how he benefited from all three aspects of Social Security. But before we go to that, let me just mention the three things that we believe have to be done in order to solve the problem. First, DOJ did good work, but they didn't do what needs to be done. We need a government transformation task force that can be created by the president that will focus on what are we trying to accomplish, how do we measure success from an economic, national security, foreign policy, and domestic standpoint. We don't have that right now in the country. That will enable us to be able to fundamentally restructure government. What should it do? How should it do it? What should be done by the federal government? What should be done by state and local? What should be done by the private sector? That's important. Secondly, we need a statutory fiscal commission that will consider Social Security as well as the other issues, engage the public with the facts, the truth, the tough choices, and make a package of recommendations that will be guaranteed to vote in Congress. And thirdly, the only thing that will bind Congress to restore fiscal sanity and sustainability is a constitutional amendment. Nothing else will work. And so we're fighting for that as well. But if I can, let me turn it over to Joe, and he can talk about his personal story on Social Security, which is very important and very unique.
Well, Social Security's been around since 1935. President Roosevelt got that started, and what rightfully so. First checks went out in 1940, and this program has been well received. It's probably the most favorite program America's had in America's history for the taxpayers or residents. 1957, my father had a massive stroke. 2 weeks later, we didn't have nothing to eat, so Social Security started sending us a small check. A few years later, he passed away. It changed to now that we were the dependents of a deceased veteran who'd worked all his life here and paid into it. And now I'm old enough to draw Social Security myself. There's no two ways about the importance of Social Security. 75 million people own it. There'll be 80 million people on it when it runs out in 2032. They'll take a 22 to 28% cut. They'll devastate seniors in this country. It'll double the poverty rate literally overnight, and it'll wreck your economy. And I promise you we can fix it. Like Dave says, it's the easiest problem we have right now facing America that we can fix. We can't do the $40 trillion debt. We can fix Social Security literally overnight.
It's interesting because my opponent, and I refer to her as left of the squad, Lauren Underwood, she's out there telling people right now that I want to eliminate, not cut, eliminate Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. My father, by the way, is a 91-year-old Army vet, and he paid into that, and honestly getting back pennies on the dollar. But I believe that that's the money of the American people, and they do deserve it, and they earned it. So, what would you tell my opponent who says Republicans are going to get rid of all this stuff? That's apparently they've already proposed it because that's what she's saying. I do refer to her as misinformation.
Let me jump in. First, I don't know a single person.
He's talking about what comes out the wrong end of a horse. Okay, is what she's talking about. Because nobody in this country wants to get rid of Social Security. That's a tactic that everybody wants to use as a scare tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know a single person, Democrat, Republican, or Independent, that wants to eliminate those three programs. That person's just a demagogue and is part of the problem, not part of the solution.
Amen to that. Yep. So tell us a little bit more about your websites, where you guys can be found at. We're looking forward to seeing you here very soon, a week and a half away?
August 4th.
August 4th. At Bolingbrook Golf Club from 7 to 9 p.m. I'll be there myself, and I'll speak a little bit. But you guys are the features there, so tell us a little bit about that, your website, and your work.
Well, you can go to joe.texas.com to locate me.
Go try that one more time. Yes.
Go ahead, Joe.
Go to joefromtexas.com, and that's the way you'll get a hold of me.
All right, very good. And David?
Yeah, I've got a lot of different ones. I'll just give you one. I'm chairman of something called the Federal Fiscal Sustainability Foundation. You can find it at ffsf.us.
So if there was any key takeaways, because we're down to the last 50 seconds, just some key takeaways that you want the folks to know. And again, we'll be looking for you to a lot more in depth in this very short interview here, but at the Save America rallies, both here in Bolingbrook, Illinois, and Springfield.
If you want to save Social Security in America, come to the event.
All right. Well, thank
you. What America needs to know is use your vote. You have to vote.
Amen to that. We have to get out the vote. We need the Americans that think everything's, not their problem to get out and vote, because it is your problem, and whether you like it or not, it's coming to you. High inflation, that's the killer. Folks, the government spending is going to drive that.
We'll be right back.
Freedom isn't free. You have to work for it. Now, more of Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter on AM560 The Answer. Here's Jim.
We're back. You're on Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter and Gretchen Fritz. We're going to move now from saving Social Security to what Jim calls killing the beast, otherwise known as Obamacare. Take it away, Jim.
Yeah, or as I know it, the Unaffordable Care Act. The funny thing about this, it's really what got me into politics, because back in 2010, remember, we passed the Affordable Care Act, quote unquote.
Heavy air quotes on this.
Right. Affordable. It's the PPACA, Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. There were 9 big lies in them. Do you remember all of them? But one of the big ones was, if you like your doctor, you get to keep your doctor. If you like your plan, you get to keep your plan. And I can address all those because I was on private health share or healthcare insurance plans through the private, formerly free marketplace before Obamacare came in and took that away. And, $2,500, you're going to say, here's Obama, we're going to save $2,500 for the average American.
Sure.
Everyone's going to do that. Well, from day one, and Pelosi, we have to pass it to see what's in it.
My gosh.
It's like, and here we are. 15 plus years later, now we've seen what's in it. Your deductibles went through the roof, skyrocketed almost for everybody, but very few exceptions to that, unless you're at the top end of the golden, platinum, ruby, diamond plan, whatever that is. Your deductibles went through the roof. Your co-pays went up. Every cost that you have to pay out of pocket went up, and so did your plan costs. And even if you're doing this through the employer. So one of the things that really gets me about this whole thing is that you were forced to do it until President Trump was elected. You would have had to pay a fine. I don't know if they were going to throw you in jail or not. I don't even know what the plan was there. So these are the things that, to me, about this whole thing. It's a big scheme. So why did I say kill the beast, right? By the way, Lauren Underwood got a bill passed on the House side in December, and she was giddy as a schoolgirl, jumping up and down about this, right? Now, by the way, we all know, and I knew that her bill was dead on arrival in the Senate. It didn't go anywhere, but she didn't even know that. So don't you want a congressperson who's actually aware enough about the bill they're passing to know whether it's got a chance to come out of the Senate and actually become a law? So she's out there bragging about having 19 bills passed. And from those 19 bills, that's 2.4 something a year. I mean, this is not a great performance.
And we
know
amazing.
one of them was a post office renamed in your town. Nice bill. I would have voted for that one.
Big deal.
Okay, so we want to flip from the Democrat lies. We got a couple clips here, so we're ready for clip number one from Miss Underwood.
We tried to expand Social Security and Medicare. Donald Trump tried to cut them.
Yeah, so that's lie number one. There's we can't even number these.
Line number one for this segment.
right. So, of course, that didn't happen in his first term. It hasn't happened in his second term.
No.
And as you just heard us discuss, these are things that everybody wants. I mean, I don't want to cut my 91-year-old Army vet father off from Social Security, and I certainly don't want to cut anyone else, right? Your parents, your family, and you if it's you. Okay. Let's go with cut number two. Want to hear a little bit more about that.
4 out of 5 Americans can get covered for $10 or less per month.
4 out of 5 Americans. Okay, this is a fascinating stat, right? Covered for $10 a month. Does that
4 out of 5 is 80%? Just to put that in perspective.
Yeah, right. That means most of us don't have a job. We're on the poverty level. I mean, I don't even know where they come up with that number or what they even. I mean, maybe that was a misprint.
Yeah,
she got stuck reading it.
Forbes fact checked it, and they said no, that was not true.
They gave it 3 Pinocchios, which means a really big lie. They called it disingenuous and misleading. And Trump kept his promise not to mess with Social Security. It's amazing what she'll say out there. And I get her emails. We have folks that we keep track of what she's doing. She's out there, as I mentioned in the last segment, saying, I want to cut, get rid of, not just cut, but get rid of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, right? And, these are things that I've never said. I have no plans to do. And oh, by the way, neither does Speaker Johnson and the Republicans in Congress.
As the kids say, show us the receipts. If Jim said it, Lauren, then produce the video, produce the audio, produce the quote in some publication. But it never happened. So she's not going to be able to do that. So
I do want to know out there if you're the one who's getting health care for $10 a month. And look, I don't doubt that we've covered some people who can't afford it that may be getting it for $10 a month.
Not 80%.
But not 80%. And it's few and far between. But it's not you, the working American family here in Illinois, here in the 14th District, that, you're looking at paying your bills. You're looking at those high deductibles on your plan. And if you get sick and you go to the hospital, you're in bankruptcy court, right? I mean,
right.
This is the effect of what Obamacare did. And she wants to replace it with total government takeover, single payer, one control. What a monster that would be. Time to kill the beast, not save the beast. Lauren Underwood wanted to feed the beast with trillions of your dollars. I want to put that money back in your pocket.
Absolutely. We're coming up on our final segment, and you'll hear about some more guests we have coming up. More after the break. Stay with us here on AM560.
There's things to be done all over the world, but let's rebuild America first.
You love this country. So do we. You're listening to Saving the American Dream with Jim Marter on AM560 The Answer.
We are back to wrap up. This is Jim Marter. Gretchen, what's up next?
I want to be sure to let people know about our super special guest for next week. I'm really excited about it. It's Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman. I'm a former board member of the Illinois State Rifle Association. I'm very familiar with his work defending the Second Amendment, but he's much more than that. He was a soldier. He's got multiple psychology degrees. He's a man of faith and compassion. He is an internationally recognized scholar, author, professor of psychology. Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman, retired from the U.S. Army. He's an amazing person, and the things that he's really passionate about, no one else is talking about.
Yeah, like school shootings, root causes, mental health, the Second Amendment. He's the foremost authority on these topics, on combat, PTSD, school safety, the list goes on. He's a solutions guy. Not political. The issue isn't for political gain. It's not, but it's really for solving the problems of the American people. And that's really how we save the American dream, solving one problem at a time. On some future shows, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to tee up some other subjects that are near and dear to everyone I know in this district going on. So, number one, we have an Islamic potential invasion in the 14th district. I'm sure Miss Underwood won't say a word about that.
I think it's already happening.
Yep, and there's a big group fighting that. We've got data centers, solar farms, which are the energy for the data centers.
Supposedly.
There's one already approved from Yorkville that's 1,200 acres for the data center. I was just at Plano this week, third meeting, public hearing on the solar farm that's going to take up about 1,500 acres. It's rated at 250 megawatts, right? But I grew up in Bartonville, Illinois, which is in Peoria County on the Peoria River, and the Democrats closed down. If you don't know this, the Democrats in Illinois have closed down 23 power plants, yes. And they want to close down all the rest of them and leave us with nothing but solar and windmills, right? That power plant, for comparison, was 780 megawatts. And a couple quick facts about that is, well, first of all, that rating at the 250, they're never going to achieve that. I looked this up. We're north of the 40th parallel. In fact, where they're doing it's at the 41st and a half parallel. And because of the angle of the sun, how far north we are, they'll be lucky to generate 200 megawatts on average out of that place. But here we are. We're doing the Green New Scam, and we're taking up our farmland. There's something fundamentally wrong about taking up farmland, which you cannot get back, in spite of what their experts say. Oh, it'll be better in 30 years from now. Seriously, no. Right?
Negative.
Right. So anyway, those are some of the things coming up. Don't forget to sign up. You can sign up on my website at Marter, M-A-R-T-E-R, for Congress. And that's both on social media and on the web. Go to the website from either or. This coming week, I've got events in Kendall County Fair. Well, that's coming up. We've got other things going on. I'll be tomorrow. I'll be at Sugar Grove, wrapping up their Corn Fest, and it's just a busy time for me. Anything else you've got to throw in there?
Be sure to join us at the Save America rally in Bolingbrook on August 4th. You can meet in person our guests from earlier, Joe from Texas and David Walker. and I will be there. Darren Bailey will be there. Jim Marter will be there. Follow Jim on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Truth, and subscribe to the Marter for Congress YouTube channel.
All right. Well, it looks like that is a wrap. Jim Marter here, Republican nominee, U.S. Congress 14th District, looking to save America and put America back.
Tune in again next time here on AM560 The Answer.